90% of American workers will retire with less than $100,000 saved. Read that again. $100,000. That is it. That is roughly 2 years of living expenses. After 40 years of working, 40 years of showing up, 40 years of grinding. And that is what most people have to show for it. Now let me talk about you for a second. You show up every day. No excuses, no shortcuts. You do the budget thing, you track the spending. You cut the subscriptions you forgot you even had. You save a little here, you sacrifice a little there. You followed every single rule they handed you. Save money, build credit, buy a home, max out the K, and yet every month still feels tight. Every year still looks exactly like the last one. You are not broke. But you are not free either. And if you are being honest with yourself right now, you know something is off. You just could not put your finger on it until today, because what I am about to show you changes everything. Let me tell you about Keisha. She grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, working class neighborhood. 2 parents who got up and went to work every single morning without complaining. At 22, Keisha became a licensed practical nurse at Regional One Health. By 30, she was earning $52,000 a year, and she did everything right. 6% into her K every paycheck, a savings account at Chase, a house she bought in 2018 for $164,000. She drove a sensible car, 1 vacation a year. 0 credit card debt. She was responsible. She was disciplined. She was doing exactly what she was supposed to do. By 41, here is where Keisha stood. $40,000 in her K, $18,000 in savings, a mortgage with 19 years still left on it. She was working 12-hour shifts. She was exhausted. And one night she asked herself a question she could not let go of. Where is this actually going? She sat down and ran the real numbers. If nothing changed, same job, same savings rate, same exact pace, she would retire at 67 with approximately $220,000 total. At today's cost of living, that money runs out in less than 8 years. Let that sit for a moment. Keisha did not make any mistakes. She worked hard. She was responsible. She played by the rules. The rules just were not designed to make her free. Drop a comment right now if Keisha sounds like someone you know, because I guarantee she does. Stay with me. This next part is where it gets real. Here is the first thing nobody ever explained to you. Every dollar you earn right now requires your body to be somewhere. You stop showing up, the money stops coming. That is called active income, and it has a ceiling. 24 hours in a day, that is your hard limit. That is the absolute most you can ever sell. Now think about what the wealthy have been quietly doing this whole time. They were buying things that earn without them. Rental properties, dividend stocks, small businesses, royalty income streams. These things pay on a Tuesday whether the owner is awake or not, whether they are on vacation or not, whether they are sick or not. What schools never teach you, and I mean never, is that income has 2 kinds, active and passive. The wealthy live off passive. The middle class only knows active, and nobody ever handed you a map that showed you how to cross that line. Think about that. Now here is the second trap. And this one stings a little. You put money in a savings account. You feel responsible. You feel like you are doing the right thing. But in 2024, inflation averaged 3.4%. Most savings accounts were paying under 1%. Do that math. Every single year, while your savings account balance went up, your purchasing power went down. You did not lose dollars. You lost value. The math they never show you is this. Idle money does not rest. It shrinks. While you were told that saving was smart, the wealthy were deploying capital, real estate, index funds, business equity, not gambling, not speculating. Deploying. There is a massive difference between those 2 words. Drop a comment if your savings account is sitting at under 2% interest right now. Because if it is, you already know what I mean. Do not click away. What comes next is what they hide. This next one is going to hit a little different. Your house is not what they told you it was. In 2024, the average American homeowner paid over $11,000 a year in mortgage interest, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance combined. Every single month, your home took money out of your pocket. Here is a definition I want you to memorize. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. By that definition, your primary home is a liability. I know, but stay with me. Here is what the wealthy actually do instead. They buy property that other people pay for. A duplex, a small rental. A 2-unit building on the right street. The tenant covers the mortgage. The owner builds equity. That same house Keisha bought for $164,000. If she had purchased a 2-unit property instead and rented out the second unit for $1,200 a month, her tenant would have covered 60% of her mortgage for 6 straight years. She never knew that was even an option. Nobody told her. This is not an accident. This was designed. The system rewards owners, not occupants. Now you're K. That retirement account you have been loyally feeding every paycheck. It is locked until age 59 and a half. Touch it before then, 10% penalty plus income taxes. You cannot use that money to buy a rental property at 35. You cannot use it to fund a small business at 40. You cannot use it to actually build anything right now. It is frozen until the system decides you are old enough to have it back. Now the wealthy use tax-advantaged accounts too. That part is true, but they do not stop there. They also hold liquid brokerage accounts. Taxable investment accounts. Real assets they can actually access whenever they choose. What schools never teach you is that liquidity is power. Locked money cannot become more money until it is far too late. The wealthy build wealth now, not at 67. Stay with me. This next part is where it gets real. Here is the one that might make you the most uncomfortable. You were taught to fear the very things that actually build wealth. Real estate sounds too risky. The stock market sounds like gambling. Starting a business sounds overwhelming and way too complicated, and so you stayed away. And that fear kept you exactly where the system needed you. Working, spending, borrowing, starting over. But here is what that fear actually cost you. A $100 investment in an S&P 500 index fund in 2004 is worth over $700 today. A duplex bought in Memphis in 2015 for $120,000, worth $260,000 in 2024. Cash flowing $400 a month on top of that. The people who bought that property were not smarter than you. They were just willing to own things while everyone else stood on the sideline afraid. That fear was not something you were born with. It was manufactured. This is not an accident. This was designed. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you were always told was too risky to touch? Because I already know the answer for most of you. One more trap. And this one is the quietest one of all. The average American spends $45,000 on vehicles over a 10-year period. A car loses value the moment it leaves the lot. That same $45,000 put into a basic index fund and left alone becomes over $100,000 in 15 years. You are not just spending $45,000. You are giving up what that $45,000 was supposed to grow into. The wealthy think in assets. The middle class thinks in monthly payments. That single shift in how you look at a dollar, everything that follows changes behind it. Now here is where we stop talking about what went wrong and start talking about your move. First, acquire one income-producing asset in the next 12 months. Not a mansion. Not a hedge fund. One dividend-paying stock. One small rental property. One product with recurring revenue. One single thing outside your paycheck that earns without you. Start there. Just one. Second, put your idle money to work. Keep your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. Liquid. Non-negotiable. Everything beyond that. It needs a job. Open a brokerage account. Look at dividend ifs. Look at rates. Let your extra money work instead of sit. Third, change the question you are asking yourself. Stop asking, how do I save more? Start asking, what can I own? That one question changes every financial decision you make from this point forward. You are not trying to collect paychecks for 40 years. You are building something that eventually runs without you. The wealthy are not geniuses. They are not luckier. They just started asking that second question sooner. Now you know it too. Wealth is not how much you earn. It is how many things you own that earn for you while you sleep. Most people will watch this and do nothing, but you are still here, and that tells me you are different. Subscribe to Max Wealth and let us keep going. What is coming next will change your game completely.